Today we're playing a deck that looks like Mono Black Devotion, but really it's Rush of Dread combo. So here is our Mono Black Dreadvotion deck, and I'm really excited for this deck. So during Outlaws of Thunder Junction spoiler season, one of the most talked about new cards and combos from the set is Rush of Dread, and everyone was hyped for Rush of Dread, Bloodletter of Aggro in Standard, the new Splinter Twin, but it turns out it's not actually that good in Standard. We just had a Pro Tour where it didn't even really make an impact at all. It hasn't really shown up much on the ladder, on Arena, but I think the combo of just being able to play Bloodletter to double up your life loss, and then Rush of Dread to make you lose half your life, double up, win the game, I think that combo is still really good. The problem is, we've just been trying to do it in the wrong format. We already have the perfect place for this combo to work, which is Pioneer/Explorer Mono Black Devotion, because in Pioneer Mono Black Devotion, we already want Bloodletter of Aggro, right? It's already a good card. It's got 3 black mana symbols. It works with some of our other cards like Grey Merchant. So we can just play Rush of Dread, and now we have a Mono Black Devotion deck that can also just be like, oops, I accidentally played Bloodletter into Rush of Dread and killed you on turn 5. But it's even better than that, because not only do we have the Bloodletter combo, we actually have a whole nother combo with Rush of Dread in Warlock class. In Warlock class is another card that I already want to be playing in Mono Black Devotion. For 1 mana, it gets a mana symbol on the battlefield, and now we can anticipate with it for level 2, and then if we level it all the way up, it's essentially another Bloodletter of Aggro, except the damage happens on our end step. So if we fully level up Warlock class, in Rush of Dread make you lose half your life, on our end step you lose the other half your life and we win the game. So we have 2 different ways, 2 different cards that combo with Rush of Dread, making our opponent lose half their life. And then we also, of course, have Grey Merchant of Asphodel, which is kind of our backup Rush of Dread. It's not guaranteed to win us the game like Rush of Dread is with Bloodletter Warlock class, but if we get a Bloodletter and then Grey Merchant, we probably win the game. Grey Merchant's gonna drain for at least 5, and hopefully we have other black mana symbols, so it's maybe, 7 or 8 or even 10, and then Bloodletter doubles it up and we win the game. So this is essentially the goal of our deck. Our main goal, Bloodletter plus Rush of Dread, but we can also Warlock class plus Rush of Dread, or we can Bloodletter plus Grey Merchant, or Warlock class plus Grey Merchant. So we just have a bunch of these weird combos that if we get them both on the battlefield, we just win the game on the spot. And I hear you thinking, wait, this is a lot of mana, right? Warlock class, 7 to get to the last level. Rush of Dread, if you want to use all the spree modes, can be up to 8 mana. Plus, sometimes we want to do multiple things in a turn. At our best, we Bloodletter and Rush of Dread in the same turn. But thankfully, we have Nykthos, which makes it very easy to pull off all these shenanigans. So if we just add a bunch of black mana symbols to the battlefield, like from Gifted Aetherborn, or Murderous Rider, or Phyrexian Arena, or Meathook Massacre, we can use Nykthos to just turbo into these combos, level up our Warlock class, play Bloodletter and Rush of Dread in the same turn, and win the game. Otherwise, we get a bunch of removal to just hopefully stay alive, some Thought Seizes to pick apart our opponent's hand, Insatiable Avarice, just to one of, but another sweet new card. It can tutor up our combo pieces, it can draw us cards. Mana base, actually kind of simple. Nykthos for big mana, Castle Lockwing for card draw, a couple of Hive of the Eye Tyrants for a creature land, a bunch of swamps. In the sideboard, a bunch of discard and planeswalkers for control decks, a bunch of cheap removal and sweepers for creature decks, Leyline of the Void for graveyards, and that is Mono Black Dreadvotion, and that's our deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see just how good Rush of Dread can be in Pioneer in a Devotion shell. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. We've got new tokens and playmats, and you can even get the tokens signed if you want. Check them all out over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. We are playing some Pioneer this week, doing some Mono Black Devotion, but really it's a combo deck now, thanks to, well, not this hand. Do we even keep this hand? So turn 1 tap land, turn 2, we do have a Nykthos. We need one. If we draw a swamp, this hand's good. Yeah, you know what, we're gonna try it. We're on the draw. I think it's fine. Nykthos we really want. We're playing the full 4 copies of Nykthos. On the other hand, it can be awkward at certain points. Wow, okay. What is happening? Well, there's a swamp. Oh, so we want to play this, but we might need to Thought Seize. So if we Gifted Aetherborn, next turn let's Gifted Aetherborn. I think we want to use our mana here. Get down the Gifted Aetherborn, pass the turn. I imagine our opponent's ramping into Golo, so it's got to be one of those decks. Hopefully they can't kill the Gifted Aetherborn. All right, stomps our face. Opponent, Cavern on Eldrazi. What? What is happening? Cleansing Wildfire on the Cascading Cataracts. So this might be Monored Eldrazi. That's kind of spicy. Well, we draw a Swamp, so we can play this. Let's Thoughtseize our opponent. See what Eldrazi they're working towards. Thought-Knot, Kozilek, Skitterbeam. Do we just have to take the Monument? Probably. Yeah, let's take the Monument. I guess we hold on to the Meat Hook. I was thinking about running it out just to add some black mana symbols, but it is a good answer to the Skitterbeam if they have to cast it early. We're actually kind of hoping they just Skitterbeam here. Wow, all right. Instead, our opponent's going to keep ramping. Well, I mean, that's fine, right? That means we're not getting Thought Knotted this turn. Our opponents, I guess they get to play the Bone Crusher. Wow, another Cleansing Wildfire. So opponent just rampant and drawing all the cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, I guess this is actually kind of scary. Yeah, Hive of the Eye Tyrant, I guess. Get in, hit ya. Down to 16. Hive of the Eye Tyrant past the turn. Opponent, Darksteel Citadel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need to find a Thoughtseize, but I did not think... Well, it's hard to expect your opponent to draw 3 Cleansing Wildfires. There's a Thought-Knot Seer. We will Swift end the Thought-Knot Seer. So we get to draw a card. Then we get Thoughtseized. We draw Bloodchief's Thirst. I do not know if we can win fast enough here. Opponent plays a Bone Crusher. Gifted Aetherborn. Nykthos. Murderous Rider. Opponent probably trades. Yeah, opponent trades. I can't believe they ramped so much. Oh, seriously? Oh, we're dead. All right. Well, that is unfortunate. My God. I can't believe we're losing to this, but we were definitely losing to this. Opponent, another Bone Crusher. Castle Lockwane. That's not going to do it. I mean, once they play Kozilek, we're just dead, right? There's no coming back from Kozilek draw 7. And they can do that next turn? We don't, well, I guess, I mean, this is horrible, but I guess our only realistic plan is try to Castle Lockwane for a Thoughtseize? It's a Swamp. Yeah, we just can't win from here. Sure. Well, that was interesting. All right, so Liliana's in, Go Blank's in. Meat Hook Massacre seems not great. Shoot the Sheriff seems fine. Is Fatal Push worth it? Probably not. Let's get on the Fatal Pushes. And I guess we just run it like that. Forsaken Monument is a busted card if you can get it down. I mean, I feel like we should be able to just combo this deck off. Our opponent had a kind of unique draw there where they just hit all their Cleansing Wildfires and the Indestructible Land, which let them do way more ramping than they usually would be able to. Well, this hand's okay. We're not close to comboing, but we do have Phyrexian Arena to hopefully draw some cards. So we got a removal spell for the first creature. Opponent, Mountain passes. Well, Gifted Aetherborn. Go. I feel like that last draw's got to be... Well, they have the Cascading Cataracts again and a Stone Brain. Well, Castle Lockwane, get down Phyrexian Arena. I don't even know what our opponent's gonna Stone Brain. Gary, probably. The funny thing is, we're not really, like, Gary's good, but we're not really a Gary deck. We don't mind Gary, it's like our backup plan, but the combo is the real payoff. So here comes the Stone Brain. I would bet that they're gonna take Great Merchant, but we will see. Yeah, they do take Great Merchant. Well, we get to draw some cards. I think Rush of Dread's just better, though. Well, we will do a little Thoughtseizing. Opponent, Forsaken Monument, Ironcrag Feet. Oh boy. All right, so take the Ironcrag Feet, play the land, get in with the Gifted Aetherborn. We have to take Ironcrag Feet because they're only one land away from playing that and then ramping. They do draw the land. Here comes the Thought Knot. Well, in response, we will make you sacrifice the Thought Knot. I mean, if we draw a non-land, they do get to snipe it. Oh, Bloodletter. We kind of wanted that. All right, there goes our Bloodletter. We do get to draw 2. Another Bloodletter and a Nykthos. Okay, those are good. Well, let's Nykthos. Let's Bloodletter. Hit ya. So our hope is, if our opponent goes land Forsaken Monument, that we just kill them before they get to Forsaken Monument, or before they get to ramp into something. Opponent's like scary. All right, Thought Knot, but for no value, since we got nothing in hand. Can we just draw the Rush of Dread and combo kill? That would be the best. Thoughtseize is good, and Rush of Dread even better. And all right, 1, 2. We will make a little mana. Step 1, we're gonna see what our opponent has. Any new wow, another Ironcrag Feet. Well, take that. Not that it really matters because it is combo time. Rush of Dread. Lose half your life, Bloodletter doubles it up, and done. All right, opponent's deck is super scary. We're bringing in Duress as well. I think we need the Duresses. We need to make sure they're not Iron Crag feeding into an Emrakul or an Ulamog or a what Ugin. I don't even care anything. We need to keep them from Iron Crag feeding. Period. End of discussion. Maybe we got on a Blood Chief's Thirst. We don't really need that much early removal. We do need removal that kills big things, but for Blood Chief's Thirst to kill a big thing, it's a lot of mana. So the scary thing about this matchup is our opponent can do big things that we are just not going to be able to beat. The good news about this matchup is our opponent does not have a lot of removal to interact with our combo kill. Like, they can try to Stonebrain or whatever, but in general, they don't have a lot of removal to interact with a combo kill. Let's go down one Gary. Plus, we already saw our opponent Stonebraining the Gary. Maybe it changes now that they know we're Rush of Dread combo. I feel like this is the perfect shell for Rush of Dread and Pioneer. Mono Black Devotion is so set up for it. All right, we will keep this. I mean, Thoughtseize into a Phyrexian Arena to draw some cards. We will take all the discard we can find against this deck. Thoughtseize you. Opponent, Stonebrain, Cleansing Wildfire. Well, sure, we'll take the Cleansing Wildfire. If they want to Stonebrain something, we'll let them. Opponent, Mountain, Stonebrain. Well, play the land, Warlock class. Let's see if they fire off the Stonebrain here and see what they name. See if they change tactics after losing to Rush of Dread last game. So they might take Bloodletter. The funny thing is, Warlock class does Bloodletter for the combo, so you really got to take Rush of Dread. Plus, Rush of Dread, even without the combo, is probably good against their deck, just making them discard and sack. Wow, they go with Bloodletter. Okay. Well, that's, out of all the things they could have taken, that's probably the best for us. Out of the, like, real, obviously, if they name, I don't know, Fatal Push or something, that's the best, but out of the things they might realistically name, I think that's the best. Well, play the land, get down Phyrexian Arena, see if we can draw into some more discard. What's the worst thing here? Land Thought Knot? All right, opponent passes, we draw Swamp and a Swamp. Well, let's dig for some discard here with Warlock class. Thoughtseize? No. But we do find a Rush of Dread, which I guess we'll take. Play the Castle Aquaman, pass the turn. Well, let's see if they found it. Land. Forsaken Monument. We draw nothing, and a Shieldred's Edict. So we can answer what they play, but is that even good enough? Play the land, pass the turn. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. Very scared. Opponent, land. Wow. Okay, Cleansing Wildfire, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. That's kind of fine. The problem is we can't get rid of this Forsaken Monument, so that is going to exist for the rest of the game. Oh my god. Oh, they have Ramen Up Ruins. All right, I was tempted to pay 8 to draw a card, but I think we have to not. Thoughtseize. Swamp. Thoughtseize. Swamp. All right, 2 swamps. Not great. Not great. Well, we'll play a swamp. Well, I mean, we're gonna run like Gray Merchant. I think we have to. We're shields down. I was hoping to be able to kill like the Kozilek, but I guess we gotta just get a body down here. Okay, Obliterating Bolt. That is acceptable. Last card, Thran Spider. All right, that's kind of fine. We get a Power Stone, which is sort of relevant. Another Gray Merchant. Gifted Aetherborn. So this is pay 7, dig for an artifact? I mean, yeah, level up Warlock class? I mean, this just sets us up to combo kill next turn. Assuming nothing goes horribly wrong, opponent finds another spider. That's acceptable. We'll discard a swamp. I mean, opponent needs the Ugin here, or the Kozilek, I think. Thran Spider, gain some life. I mean, this life gain's fine, because when we combo, our opponent loses all their life. Down to 15. Last card. All right, opponent passes. Can we draw Thoughtseize just to make sure? Warlock class. Nykthos. Let's play the Nykthos. Gifted Aetherborn. Play Warlock class. Make a little Nykthos mana. Actually, let's do this first. Rush of Dread. Lose half your life rounded up. Gray Merchant. Down to 1. End step. Double it up. And whoo, we got there. Well, I mean, we did see the power Rush of Dread. The funny thing is our opponent had the Stone Brains to lock down the combo. I don't think people realize. People know Bloodletter of Aklazot's Rush of Dread makes you die. I don't think people realize that Warlock class does the same thing. Like, yeah, you gotta wait till your end step, but the combo works the same way. Warlock class fully leveled, which you can do with Nykthos pretty easily, into Rush of Dread equals dead opponent. So there's like multiple ways. Our opponent took one of our key combo pieces, right? They took the Bloodletter, which was a reasonable choice, but we got backup plans. So I think the answer is just take Rush of Dread. I think you just got to take the Rush because there's backups to the other pieces. But even Rush of Dread, you could argue that Gary's like a backup to Rush of Dread, right? Like it's not a guaranteed win, but a Gary with a Bloodletter out or a leveled up Warlock class often is enough to win the game. So a lot of redundancy. Well, opponent's deck is scary, but in the end, our opponent just did not find the big finisher this game, thankfully. Mono Black Devotion, but really it's a combo deck. Doing some dreading, perhaps. Rush of Dreading. Sounds pretty good. We got Warlock class, we got Gifted Aetherborn, we got the Nykthos. Would you like to play a land? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe your opponent doesn't want to play their turn 1 land. An interesting new technique. Missing your land drops. Opponent does decide to play a land and a Lovestruck Beast. Well, we'll play a land and play a Gifted Aetherborn. Pass the turn. So our opponent probably Grul vehicles, I imagine. I guess it could be an adventure deck, but normally Lovestruck is Grul vehicles. Opponent Forest. Maybe this is just like a mono green deck. Werewolf Pack Leader. Well, we will play a Nykthos, play a Warlock class, kill the Pack Leader, pass the turn. Ooh, and we get a couple of Warlock class triggers. And now our Nykthos. Oh, it is Grul. Reckless Stormseeker. Sure. Haste it in there. Opponent gets in, hits us down to 18. Well, 1, 2. Nykthos. We need a Warlock class because we need to find a land here. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, this is not going the way we intended. Warlock class again. Well, there's a land. It is a lot later than we were hoping, though. Yeah, I mean, I guess we gotta stay back here. Yeah, that went horribly. Our plan was to be able to Murderous Rider after hitting a land off the Warlock class, but whiffing on the Anticipate. Pretty bad news. There's the Azeka's Chariot, our opponent. All right, opponent's not gonna haste it in. They're just gonna haste a cat. Okay, they're gonna haste the human. Well, we are not going to block that. We draw another Nykthos. What does that do? 1, 2, 3, 4. We just need to stay alive. All right, so keep the new one, Nykthos. Then we can Bloodletter of Aklazot's and Swift End. Pass the turn, drain you a bit. Down to 12, thanks to Bloodletter. Well, let's see what they have. Reckless Stormseeker, sure. I mean, this Gary is just lethal. Assuming the Bloodletter's out. Opponent, wow. Yeah, this Gifted Aetherborn's doing some work. It is doing some work, opponent. I mean, they could have like an Obliterating Bolt or something. That is possible. Wow, no attacks at all. Well, that makes it easy. So let's make some Nykthos mana. Let's Thoughtseize you real quick, just to make sure there's no surprises. And opponent. All right. Don't even need to see if there's any surprises. So Grul vehicles A. Let's bring in, all right, Fatal Push seems important. Shoot the Sheriff. Extinction Event. Meathook Massacre. We can go down the Blood Chief's Thirst, I think. Gifted Aetherborn was great. We can go down to Phyrexian Arena. That's kind of slow. Maybe like one Warlock class. The Insatiable Avarice, and maybe 3 Meathooks is too much. It doesn't get the vehicles. Yeah, let's try it like that. Let's stay with 2 Meathooks. Let's run it like that. Well, game 1 went pretty well. Well, we'll keep this. Sand's not super explosive, but we do have a lot of sweepers. Opponent, Werewolf Pack Leader. I guess we just play the Gifted Aetherborn. Make him kill it if they can. And another Werewolf Pack Leader. And another Elvish Mystic. And gonna go attacking. Well, we will trade off there for sure. This actually works out kind of well. So we can do that, and then we can Meat Hook X1 to clean up the mana dorks. And now hopefully we just hit some lands. And Lovestruck Beast. And Lovestruck Beast. And gets and hits us. Land? No. Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Well, yeah, I mean, I think we have to Swift on the pack leader. We can't have our opponent drawing cards. We gain a life. Lose a couple life. If they can slam like an Azeka's Chariot here, we're probably in a rough spot. Opponent. Thrun break. Wow, we just need a land. We just need a land. Ha! Okay, land. Extinction event. Odd. And put you back down to that little token, and we might be okay now. Opponent, just a land. Okay, now we're a land away from just comboing. Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Go. Land? Land for the win? Azeka's Chariot, but can we draw land? Show our opponent the Rush of Dread? We can. And, opponent, I think you should lose half your life, round it up, and GG. Well, I mean, that's the upside of this combo, right? Like, we get to play like a Black Devotion deck, but then we also just get to totally wreck people. We just totally wreck people with the combo by surprise, like that. Like, Mono Black Devotion, but oops, we win on turn 5, like Splinter Twin. Ooh, Rush of Dread, Devotion, combo time. I think we got to mulligan that. Not enough lands. All right, this is better. We can keep this. We got a Phyrexian Arena and a Castle Lochwain to dig out from the mulligan. I guess we just put Bloodchief's Thirst to the bottom. That's probably fine. Hello, opponent. How are you, friend? Opponent, Schwamp. Oh, don't Thought Seize us. Duress? Who's playing Duress in their main decks? Oh, this has got to be... All right, it's got to be Wasteland, I guess. Well, that might be bad. I'll play the land past the turn. And they can Field of Ruin away our Castle Lochwain. Well, let's play Warlock class. Let's take it up. Yeah, let's take it. Take the Avarice. Play the Castle Lochwain. I assume it's about to get Field of Ruined. Maybe there's no rush for our opponent. Opponent. Well, the good news about our deck is we are playing a lot of Castle Lochwains. We got all 4 copies, so we'll find another one eventually. Passes. Ooh. Ooh. And we draw land. Okay. Well, in that case, I think we play the land. The question is, do we want to tutor with this Avarice, or do we just draw 3 and leave up removal? I mean, we're definitely drawing 3. Yeah, let's just draw 3. I don't even think we need to tutor. Draw 3. Thought Seize you. Wow. Why did they not play the Shieldred? Well, we'll take a Shieldred. They had 2 Shieldreds and they chose not to play them. That is wild. That was a card we were afraid of that would make our whole plan fall apart, but instead our opponent just chose not to run it out. I mean, they have a ton of removal. We know that. There's not really a point to running anything out into all this removal. So maybe they're not Wasteland. Maybe they're just like a mono black control deck. Opponent, channels. Oh, there's a Wasteland. Okay, so they are Wasteland. Gets back another Shieldred. We wouldn't mind leveling this up. If we level this up, we can just get the combo kill. Opponent passes. Gray Merchant. Well, we will once again pass. Wow, that is a top deck and a half. Now let's just run out this Meat Hook Massacre. Yeah, we might be in a little trouble, because if our opponent starts drawing discard, they get to snowball the Wasteland, and we don't have a way to answer it. Opponent passes. Now, we draw a Thought Seize, which, I mean, is worth casting. We really just want another land. We want another land so we can... Why is our opponent not casting anything? Well, I mean, we will take the Liliana. And, yeah, I mean, we'll run out of Gray Merchant, I guess. Sure, it's gonna die, but we get to gain back some life, and we're gonna have to slog through these removal spells eventually. So opponent gets burnt, gets burnt, gets burnt, down to 15. It is better once we level up Warlock class, but Opponent pass. Ooh, Phyrexian Arena. All right, we like that. Our opponent, what are they valuing? I don't really understand why they're not casting more spells. Reckoner Bankbuster. They're just like really valuing leaving up removal, but now they're Desperation Shields down to hit a land? They do hit the land. Opponent passes. We get to draw 2. Shoot the Sheriff. Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Play another Grey Merchant. Opponent spends a go for the throat. Sure. Gets drained, gets drained, gets drained. Down to 8. We're back up to 20. All right, there's a Shield Rid. I imagine they know it's gonna die. Opponent draws a card. They're gonna gain a little life while they can. Get back up to 10. Well, we untap. Shoot the Sheriff. The Shield Rid. Nykthos is our best draw. Well, we get to draw 2. Murderous Rider, and... Whew, there's the Nykthos. All right, so... Play the Nykthos. And we're just gonna level this up. Level up the Warlock class. Your go. I mean, the upside of leveling this up is now if we just draw Russia Dread, we just win. And winning is good. Opponent. Shieldred and draws a card. Sure. So now all we just need is the Russia Dread. And we're drawing 2 cards a turn. Man, we drew a lot of cards without hitting that land. We got a lot of lands left in our deck. But with Nykthos, that's kind of fine. Opponent finds Gaia Reach. That is good with the Waste Knot. They're going to activate the Waste Knot. They want their triggers. We find another Nykthos. I guess we'll just discard the Murderous Rider. Our opponent getting a zombie's fine. We don't really care about that. So opponent back up to 12, temporarily. So in response, Sheoldred's Edict, non-token creature. Snipe the Sheoldred. All right, show us Rush of Dread. Opponent. Gonna do a little crewing here. Okay, well, we'll get drained a couple times, that's fine. So I'm gonna sack the Bankbuster. We gain a life. Thoughtseize. Get drained. Rush of Dread. Rush of Dread. Cast a Lockway and get drained. Let's make Nykthos mana. Swift and the Sheoldred. Gain a life. Oh no. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. Oh, we're on our upkeep still. Oh, that's awkward. Well, in that case, I guess we have to play another Nykthos. This is not how we wanted that turn to go. Nykthos. Thoughtseize you. Fatal Push, Extinction Event. So we'll take the Extinction Event. Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Drain you a bit, down to 6. And let's see what our... So they can Legend Rule themselves with Gaia Reach to... They can Legend Rule themselves with Gaia Reach to turn on Fatal Push. Unless they just drew something. If they just drew something, it could be different. Where's our Russia Dreads? 30 go. We went literally halfway through our deck without finding one yet. All right, there's the Legend Ruling. Gaia Reach activates. Loots. I guess a Meat Hook Massacre. So opponent gets to draw a card. So now they kill the Bloodletter Aclazotz. Candy Trail. So Scry 2 can sack it to game 3 and draw. That actually does mess up our combo kill. 1 to the top. Gets in for 1. Down to 11. All right, well, we get to draw and draw. Thoughtseize Warlock class. Well, play the Castle Lockway. Thoughtseize our opponent. Nykthos. Fire up the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Play a Murderous Rider. Bloodchief Thirst the token. Hit ya. Get rid of a Sheoldred. Opponent goes to 2. Alright, they're gonna crack. So opponent goes back up to 8, down to 5. Trigger. Down to... Whoa, wait. Oh, yeah, it's... the Warlock classes did it on their own. Oh, I forgot about that. So yeah, with 2 Warlock classes, and then one of them doubling up, that was actually enough. Well, even more powerful than I realized. The bad news here is we just don't actually have a super realistic plan to deal with a Waste Not. We can fight through the rest of the deck, but we don't have a, like, oh, I just answered your Waste Not card. So I guess, like, Sorin's good. Liliana's probably not that good. Bloodchief's Thirst can probably go. What do we have to deal with this deck? I don't even know. Do they even have Fatal Push targets? Probably not. Maybe just something like this is fine. We know it's going to be a pile of discard. Even, like, Meat Hook's kind of sketchy. What could we bring in place of it? Maybe a Lily's fine. I think we just want to try to keep the Waste Not off the battlefield. If we can keep the Waste Not off the battlefield, we're probably in decent shape. If we can't, it's gonna be a little tougher. That's the engine of the deck. Like, without the Waste Not doesn't do a ton. With the Waste Not, black deck's not the best at blowing up enchantments. I mean, they kind of are now, but we're not playing any enchantment removal. We're not dirty color pie breakers. Even if wizards might be. Yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't gonna get rid of a Waste Not, but wait. Opponent chose to go on the draw? That's wild. I did not know that was a thing that our opponent's deck did. Ooh, that's a duress. Do you have a Waste Not? Well, no. Take Invoke Despair, I guess. Play a land past the turn. So opponent's got double Go Blank, which is going to be obnoxious. We could use Phyrexian Arena. That would be sweet. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be empty-handed pretty quick here. So they take the Bloodletter. Opponent plays a land. We draw a swamp. We play the swamp. We level up the Warlock class. I guess we take the Russian Dread. Sorin would be a nice draw. Opponent land. Go blank. Well, Gary discarded and Shoot the Sheriff discarded. Ooh, Castle Lochwain's also a good draw. Castle Lochwain. Go. Alright, so at least that's a way we can refuel after our opponent empties our hand here. You know what? Let's draw now. Because we might want to keep the Russia Dread. Oh, alright. Well, no. We do not want to keep the Russia Dread. We want to keep the Phyrexian Arena. This Aclazotz is a concern. We do have removal for it eventually, but it might be coming down next turn. Opponent land on black. Well, there's all the Phyrexian Arenas. Phyrexian Arena go. Aclazotz a coming. Aclazotz a coming. Opponent land. Aclazotz. Do we draw removal? Warlock class. Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Play a Warlock class. Play another Phyrexian Arena. Alright, so opponent's going to go blank, so they can draw a card off Aclazotz. They drew a lot of go blanks. Alright, we dropped to 12. However, we get to draw a lot of cards this turn, so draw, Gary, land. Well, that's not the worst. So play a land, play a Grey Merchant. Gain back a bit of life. They are going to get a bat. Yeah. Down to 14. Opponent gains back some life. Castle Lochwain passes. Well, draw. Another Gary. And, ooh, and a Nykthos. And a, wow, and a Thoughtseize. Okay, so, play the land. Nykthos. Nykthos is kind of a busted card. Level up Warlock class. Get a, ooh, Shieldred's Edict. Okay. Thoughtseize you. Swamp and Swamp. Shieldred's Edict you. Sack a non-token creature. Get rid of the Aclazotz for now. So that buys us 2 turns without Aclazotz. Most importantly, we got another Gary. This one's gonna drain for 10. Without the Aclazotz to gain life. Opponents also gotta remember these Warlock classes, adding damage. Like, can they even Castle Lochwain here? I don't know if they can't. Whoa, no fear. Castle Lochwain to 5. Chumps. Warlock class, hit you to 3. Who's the better mono black deck now? Candy Trail to gain some life. Sure, do a little scrying. These wow, an opponent scoops it up. Well, maybe Phyrexian Arena is not just for Commander. That was a Phyrexian Arena game. We were like kind of behind when our opponent had Thoughtseize, triple go blank. So we're in a really rough spot, but our our Phyrexian Arenas let us dig back out of it. No combo that turn, but still a sweet win. It is Pioneer time. We are doing some Mono Black Devotion, but really, it's a Russian Red combo deck, and well, that's a lot of lands, but we're gonna keep this. We do have Castle Lock lands, and we got the Russian Red. Stoic Sphinx, Lightning Helix, 3 steps ahead. Take the counter, I guess. I don't think we care too much about Stoic Sphinx, since Rush of Dread can get it, in theory. Bloodletter of Aklazotz. Well, there's a world where we just combo off here. Do we just want to run out Murderous Rider? I think we do. I mean, it is a 2/3 lifelinker. It's not the worst. It dies to Lightning Helix, but then that's out of our opponent's hand. Well, they're gonna have 2 unknown cards. Our opponent really needs to draw a counter or removal. If we just Bloodletter into Rush of Dread, that is a win. Bloodletter. Resolves. Okay. Okay. Is this happening? Opponent land. Passes. Do we attack? No, they have the Sphinx. Well, I mean, Rush of Dread? Lose half your life? Did you top deck a counter? Wow! They did! Alright, well. Hit you down to 19. Tap land. Passes. Well, play the land. Play a Gifted Aetherborn. Not gonna attack because of the Sphinx. Opponent runs out the Sphinx. Tap land. Well, we will Castle Lockwayne. Draw a card. Thoughtseize is pretty nice. Yeah, let's Thoughtseize you. Spell Queller. Okay. So that answers the Thoughtseize for now. Well, let's see if they drew another No More Lies. Gary Merchant. All right, opponent did not, so they drop to 5. We will attack and attack. Actually, we'll just attack with Gifted Aetherborn. You gonna give us back that Thoughtseize? I mean, they go to 1. Wow, all right, opponent goes to 1. Oh, we almost had this straight up combo kill too. About it, they good. Opponent cannot take a single point of damage for the rest of this game. And we have more creatures than they do currently. I'll play the land. Gotta do something. Whoa! Okay. I mean, that is the best draw. Wandering Emperor. So opponent goes back up to 3. So we had to play another Gifted Aetherborn. Draw a Castle Lockwayne. And pass the turn. Yeah, that was a huge draw for our opponent. Huge. Yeah, our opponent's had a couple of really nice top decks to not just be dead instantly. Takes up on the Sphinx. Passes.
Remember your training.
We draw a Nykthos. Well, we will play Nykthos. Make a little bit of mana. Draw a Castle Lockwayne. Play a Bloodletter of Aklazotz. Any amount of damage is a ridiculous amount of damage to our opponent at this point, because double Bloodletter is... That's a lot. That's a lot. The Death Touch on the Gifted Aetherborn is making our opponent's life miserable at the moment. It is making it tough. Opponent. March of Otherworldly Light. All right, so they answer the Gifted Aetherborn. Opponent. High Noon. Sure. And then they can sack it for damage. This also applies to our opponent, remember. On the Sphinx. Passing. Well, Castle Lockwayne. Draw a card. Let's make a little Nykthos mana. X3. So our opponent has to kill a Bloodletter here, or else they die to Meat Hook, double Bloodletter drain. So I think they have to sack the High Noon, unless they have another counter. But they can't just let this resolve. Well, okay. I mean, you can. Yeah, okay, I didn't think that through. We needed one of our creatures to die. Alright, play another Nykthos. For some reason, I was thinking killing our opponent's creature would be enough. Not like we could have done anything different, because then we would have killed our Bloodletters anyway, and it wouldn't have worked. Oh, they're gonna High Noon. Maybe they are gonna High Noon. Wow, they just do nothing? Okay, opponent passes. I mean, I feel like this is getting worse and worse for our opponent. Yup. Nykthos mana. Castle Lockwayne. Ooh, Insatiable Avarice. Phyrexian Arena. Actually, do we attack? Let's attack the Wandering Emperor. Okay. we gain a life. Insatiable Avarice would just be lethal. Well, let's make Nykthos mana. I think we gotta go for it. Draw 3 cards, lose 3 life. The problem is they could gain life in response if they have another Wandering Emperor, and then they get to draw 3 cards. Alright, opponent sacks a High Noon. That doesn't change the math here, though. Sure, Gray Merchant? Oh, alright, that just worked. Insatiable Avarice kill. This deck kills in a whole bunch of weird ways. Alright, so opponent's like a flash deck, I guess? A control deck? Control/flash? What do we want against this deck? So the Shoot the Sheriff seems fine. Go Blank's probably good. Lily's actually probably decent. Like, Lily dies to flash creatures, but it does pressure our opponent's hand. We maybe go down like a Bloodchief's Thirst. Go down a Bloodchief's Thirst. Maybe like trim a Gary. The more we can do at instant speed, the better. Maybe go like 1 Meat Hook. Maybe 1 Warlock Class. 1 Gifted Aetherborn. Just run it like that? We gotta cut 1 more of something. All right, let's go 1 Lily. That's fine. Run it like that. So we get a bit more discard to make sure we know what's up with our opponent's hand. That game was interesting. We came so close to just the straight up, just run out the combo and win. But our opponent found the, wow, we got the combo again. All right. I don't know how easy it's going to be to pull off against our opponent's deck, since as we saw, they are playing a lot of instant speed interaction, but opponent, another High Noon. Is High Noon even good? I mean, I guess I respect people playing new cards. It does work well with Spell Queller, I guess. Play a land, and yeah, I mean, we're just gonna Go Blank, yeah. Opponent runs out of Spell Queller. Yup. Opponent, land. Goes attacking. Well, let's play Nykthos, play a Bloodletter. Alright, opponent's gonna counter the Bloodletter. Sure. I mean, opponent is definitely being obnoxious. I will give them credit for that, if that's part of the goal. Let's just Thoughtseize. This High Noon is obnoxious. 2 Supreme Verdicts, another High Noon. Well, we'll take the High Noon. Play the tap land, pass the turn. Opponent, gonna go attacking. Hit us. Down to 12. Well, play the Swamp. Rush of Dread. Sack half your creatures and lose half your life. Actually, you know what? Let's go creatures cards. Everything at you, opponent. Alright, we don't get to Go Blank, sadly, because of the High Noon. But we get rid of the creature. We make our opponent discard half their hand. Opponent adapts. Passes. Well, duress you, I guess. Lightning Helix and Get Lost. We'll take the Helix. What a weird game this has ended up being. Opponent untaps. I guess High Noon makes for some weird games. Another Nykthos. Well, lose half your life and discard half your cards. Oh, we have to do this. All right. Nykthos. New Nykthos. Half your life. Discard half your cards. You and you. All right. Discards the Get Lost. And wow, found a Wandering Emperor. Well, that is about the best thing our opponent could find there. Yeah, opponent might be winning this one, actually. Opponent makes another Samurai, goes attacking. Down to 10. Well, we draw Warlock Class. All right, opponent in the tank, out of the tank. Take up the Warlock Class. Huh. Well, take the Bloodletter, I guess. Unfortunately, we can't cast it because of this High Noon. As High Noon's actually, like, super obnoxious. And now we're, like, kind of dying. Opponent combat hits us down to 5. High Noon. Yeah, that does it. Oh, that goes face, too? All right. Well, that early High Noon did some work for our opponent. We will run it back. I think without the High Noon, we're pretty favored, but the High Noon is definitely super obnoxious. Our opponent's deck is, I guess, a cool way to build around it by playing a bunch of flash stuff to try to get around the drawback. Do we even keep this? I think we mulligan this. Oh no, Magic Gods, come on. Well, okay, this is about as bad can be. Thankfully our opponent mulliganed once, I think. But yeah, we're down to 5 on the play, which is Horrible. Well, High Noon, or Hive of the Eye Tyrant, go. We do have the Castle Lockwane, which is nice. We really wanted some discard to be able to stop Behind Noon from coming down. Bonnet, land. Passes. We will Gifted Aetherborn. And Castle Lockwane. Go. Castle Lockwane's pretty big here. Opponent's going to deduce. Opponent. Inspiring Vantage passes. Opponent gonna keep deducing. Untaps. We will definitely pay 4 life to Castle Lockwane here. Another Anchorage. Well, Castle Lockwane. Draw a card. Swamp and more swamps. Do we run out the Gary? It probably gets countered. It's probably worth it though. Yeah, let's play the Gary. I imagine it gets countered, but we're not doing anything else, so we might as well. The other option's what? Just pass and leave up Shoot the Sheriff? It gets around Spell Queller. They can't flash in Wandering Emperor this turn, and they probably want to just crack a Clue. Wow, all right. So now the plan might be for our opponent to let it go and then just Wrath. That would also make sense. Opponent's thinking. All right, there's the Clue cracking. Opponent. All right, get lost on the Gifted Aetherborn. And passes. We draw kind of nothing. Well, let's map the Gray Merchant. All right, opponent's gonna get lost again. So let's just Hive of the Eye Tyrant past the turn. Well, we will Castle Lockwane draw. Down to 20. Well, there's a Thoughtseize. Let's just start with Thoughtseize. Opponent runs out of Spell Queller. Okay. But now we get to Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Hit ya. Eat something. Down to 7. Play the Swamp. And, well, we should have done this first, I guess. Crack a map. Well, it didn't matter. It was just a land anyway. Wow. Untap land passes. We need to do something and be able to Hive of the Eye Tyrant, which we can't. Untap land is probably the counter plus draw thing. Well, let's play the Bloodletter. So I imagine, why else would you play the untap land other than 3 steps ahead? So I imagine that's what they're on. All right, so there's the 3 steps ahead. Wow, gonna copy the Spell Queller and draw some cards. I mean, because of the High Noon, this sort of works for our opponent, right? Because of the High Noon, it means we can't follow up and play another spell. Yes, High Noon's like brutal, and we just don't have a way to get rid of it. Like, we can kill things, but killing things doesn't do much. Well, we will kill the Spell Queller. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Another High Noon. Well, I mean, we gotta do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fire up the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Attack. Exile the Spell Queller. Wow, this is one of the most obnoxious games of Magic I've played in a long time. Well, we will Castle Lockwane, draw a card. Well, Rush of Dread. Well, sack half your creatures, lose half your life. Do they have the Sphinx? Just to deduce. Okay. I mean, they can't cast another spell because they are playing High Noon. We need to find a way that our opponent has to cast a spell to stop something we're casting, so we can Hive the Eye Tyrant and attack for lethal with a map. At some point, we're just gonna have to go for it. Murderous Rider. Do we go for it? Do we wait? If we wait, what could they have? 1, 2, 3. Let's just cast a Murderous Rider. Opponent. Let's crack a map. Opponent has a Lightning Helix. So it goes back to the bottom of the library. So they can't cast a spell, so we will Nykthos. Play another Nykthos, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Exile doesn't really matter. Let's go 3 steps ahead. Cracks the clue. What we would give to draw Thoughtseize. Opponent's done a good job of drawing a lot of lightning helixes, or else they'd already be dead. Opponent, back on the rope. Passes. Does this mean we have to go for it? No. Let's just play the land and pass. Alright, which we will Fatal Push. So opponent's passing, we will cast a Lockway. Draw a card. Lose a couple life. Ooh, there's the duress. There's the duress. Well, we gotta go for it. Duress you. The March can kill the land, so we'll take the Wandering Emperor. Play the Castle Lockway. You can't do anything. You should untap. All right, opponent figured it out. Opponent passes. We draw Gifted Etherboard. Yeah, all right, whatever, you got it. Playing some Mono Black Devotion, but really it's Russian Red combo. And, well, we got the, oh boy, Mono Red. We'll see how this goes. Thoughtseize first or Blood Chief's Thirst first? I guess we just Thoughtseize first. Monstrous Rage, Wizard's Lightning. Well, we'll take the Rage. And then we can just Blood Chief's Thirst to Soulscar Mage, I guess. And then go from there. Den of the Bugbear, Monastery Swift Spear. And they probably just fire it off, yeah. Fire it off, get in for what you can. I mean, this is a lot of damage. Down to 11. Ooh. Ooh. All right, new plan. Gifted Etherboard. Not a bad one. Opponent land. And gets Jingotha, sure. Well, let's Castle Lockway. Do a little Thoughtseize. Take the Jingotha. Blood Chief Thirst, the Soulscar Mage. Like, the worst case is what? Monstrous Rage? We don't die. The problem is, if they don't draw anything, they just sit back on the Swift Spear. And then it dies and we get no value out of it. Yeah, the opponent kills it. Well, we get to play a land. Blood Letter of Aclazotz. Oh boy. Oh, we're like a land away from getting down this Gary with Blood Letter. Opponent can fire up the Den of the Bugbear, although we can block and kill it. All right, opponent's gonna go for it. So there's the Den of the Bugbear. Kill the land. Take 2. Another Blood Letter. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Meat Hook Massacre X2. Kill the dorks. Gain a couple life. Pass the turn. Opponent. I mean, we're officially a Russian Red away from winning. Warlock class. Well, play that because it's kind of free. And Nykthos. Yeah, I mean, I think this just wins the game. Gary. And opponent agrees. And wow. Overcame Mono Red on the play somehow. I don't know exactly how we managed to pull that off, but we will take it. Bring in all the cheap removal we can muster. Go down. Unfortunately, I love Phyrexian Arena in this deck, but this is not the matchup for it. And then maybe like Trim. Well, actually, Insatiable Avarice also is a little heavy on the life payment. Let's go Extinction Event. Let's try it like that. Run it like that. Well, we didn't find the Russian Dread for that combo kill, but turns out that Gary and Bloodletter is still pretty good against Mono Red. Against Mono Red, we don't even really need to win with Gary. It's just like gaining 10 life or something. It's kind of the pseudo win. Like, yeah, it doesn't literally kill our opponent, but going up to like 15 or something is just like, what? How are they going to kill us? How are they going to kill us? Mono Red kind of struggles with that. Is this an Oregon Trail background? Oh, they're never going to make it across that river. Maybe we need to do an Oregon Trail video. I don't know how to, ooh, double Russian Red. I don't know how to make that work on a Magic channel, but let me know in the comments if you would watch an Oregon Trail playthrough. Because after seeing that background, now I kind of want to play the Oregon Trail. Slick Shot Show Off. Light up the stage. Monstrous Rage. Ooh, well, I mean, I guess we gotta take the show off. This is a very precarious position to be in. Opponent's got a good hand on the play, and we do not have any early removal. Another Soulscar Mage gets in. They're just gonna Monstrous Rage. Just gonna Monstrous Rage. Yeah, down to 13 removal. Removal, it's a swamp. Well, Warlock class, and also Warlock class. But now they get to light up this stage. Oh, they're gonna do it post-combat? I probably would have played it pre-combat to get the prowess triggers, but we drop to 10. Opponent, light up the stage. Now they get their prowess. Land and Wizard's Lightning. We draw a Nykthos that doesn't do anything. Well, Warlock class, we might just be dead here. Yeah, this is the mono red we know and love. Oh, I guess we should just mulligan for a fatal push. Yeah. So we're just dead, right? I'm pretty sure we're dead. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I guess we're technically not dead. We're technically not dead on board, but for all intents and purposes, we are dead. Wizard's Lightning. Yeah, I mean, as much as I love Russian Red, not... Oh, drew another one? As much as I love Russian Red, probably not the matchup to keep 2 of them in our opening hand. Our hand just didn't do enough quickly enough. Well, run it back. We'll keep that in mind for game number 3. If we don't have some more, what do we have? A Thoughtseize there? Not enough. Not enough. I mean, our opponent had a good hand, but not like anything special. Like a pretty average hand. All right. Well, we once again have a lot of Russian Reds. But this time we do have 2 fatal pushes, which is good. Opponent, Mountain. Monastery Swiftspear. Kill it. I'll play the Swamp past the turn. A Bloodletter would be nice. Opponent, Reckless Impulse. Monstrous Rage, Wizard's Lightning. I'll play the land past the turn. Opponent, Raminamp Ruins. Rampaging Ferocidon. Well, this actually kind of... Oh, that's even better. So play the land, and I guess we could Rush a Dread, make him sack, but I think it's better to wait. Let's just pass. Well, alright. Shoot the Ferocidon. And even more Ferocidons. Alright. Well, play the Castle Lochwain. Target opponent sacks half their creatures rounded up. Alright, get rid of the Ferocidon. The Ferocidon would stop our Grey Merchant life gain, which is annoying. Alright, there's a Swiftspear. Show us that pump spell. 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 Got him. Fatal push. Ah! Oh, it feels so good when you get rid of the Monstrous Rage, too. We could make our opponent discard down to 1 card. Well, I mean, I guess we just play a not super impressive Gary. Gain 2, you lose 2, and we get a 2/4. Although a 2/4 is, like, kind of a real body. It does block a lot of their dorks. Also, because we have this Castle Lochwain, we're kinda down with emptying our hand. Alright, opponent. Soulscar Mage. Passes. We draw Extinction Event. 5/6. Okay, so this is better. So now we can... Target opponent sacks half their creatures. This is actually tough. This is tougher than I thought. We can make our opponent lose half their life down to 9, or discard 2 cards. I feel like we actually need our opponent to discard. Or maybe it's even better just to try to race? You know what? We're gonna go race mode. So, sack the Soulscar Mage, lose half your life. Okay, they're gonna shrink the Grey Merchant. So opponent's down to 9. Light up the stage. Well, those are some hits. Opponent found some card draw for next. Well, I don't know about that. Well, okay. Opponent runs it out. That's fine. So we'll play a Castle Lochwain. We will fire a Pipe of the Eye Tyrant. Hit ya. Down to 6. Eat something. Opponent gets counter on the next creature. Do they have a creature? Light up the stage. Wizard's Lightning. And a land. I'll play the Swamp. I think we Castle Lochwain here. Ooh! Into more swamps. That's not great. Alright, well, we will pass the turn. Play with Fire or Face. Leaves it on top. Flips. Land. Ferocidon. I mean, we have this Extinction Event in hand. You know what? I think we wait. We wait. We draw a Castle Lochwain, so play a Castle Lochwain. Extinction Event. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Hit you to 3. Eat whatever. And I mean, this is basically it. Do we attack with the Hive if they just hold this card in hand? That's the question. Well, all right, opponent's not going to make us choose. They're going to make it easy on us and just scoop it up. Well, so on one hand, I mean, Rush of Dread was still good that game. That's the thing, like, we didn't combo with Rush of Dread, but this was still really a Rush of Dread win, right? Like, think about how this game played out. It ended up being a race, and we're racing Mono Red, which is like the best racing deck in the format. The Rush of Dread, where we were just like, sack your Soul Scar, lose half your life, that's the reason that this Hive of the Eye Tyrant was able to get there. Like, without our opponent losing half their life, they're still at, what, like 12 life right now? And our opponent's winning this game. Like, they got the Ramanamp Ruins, they have all the damage they can draw, they can get Jingatha. We got, I mean, Castle Lockwains, which are painful, but do help us refuel, but we got a land in hand. So even this game, where we didn't do the thing with Rush of Dread, Rush of Dread was still really good. So I feel like this card's like kind of a sleeper. I feel like maybe it's wrong to call it a sleeper when everyone's been talking about its combo potential in standard, but it's really impressed me when played fairly. That's what surprised me about this card. Not that the combo's sweet when we pull it off, and we do pull it off, and it is as sweet as I thought it would be, but it's impressed me more as like a fair card when it's just like, hey, 5 mana lose half your life, or you know, we're up against control, 5 mana discard half your hand. Like, all that stuff makes the card really good. And in this deck with Nykthos, we do sometimes get up enough that we cast them all and just like full on crime spree our opponent, and those games are really good. So yeah, Rush of Dread, not bad, not a bad card. So what do we learn this week about Mono Black Dreadvotion? And overall, the deck kind of killed it. So we went 13-5 overall with all the testing and all the games with the deck and the recordings. 72% win percentage, which is really, really good. More importantly, I was blown away by just how good Rush of Dread really is. So we got a bunch of combo kills. Those are really sweet. Like, yes, sometimes we just get this free win with Bloodletter into Rush of Dread or Warlock class into Rush of Dread. That's really sweet when that happens, but what really sold me on Rush of Dread after playing this deck a bunch is when we're casting it fairly. Like, it's a surprisingly effective card, especially in a deck like this that can make a bunch of mana with Nykthos, but it's a surprisingly effective fair card. Like, even without the combo pieces to just win the game on the spot, we had a lot of games where we were like, Rush of Dread, make you sack some creatures, lose half your life, and that would allow us to like sneak in and win with Hive of the Eye Tyrant, or chip in for damage with Gifted Etherboard, and actually be able to win the game in the end. So even when we're not just winning the game with Rush of Dread, it was really powerful, and it's pretty flexible. Like, against control, making our opponent discard half their cards, pretty relevant. Against creature decks, making our opponent sack half their board, pretty relevant. And against pretty much any deck, making your opponent lose half their life is a pretty good thing, especially in a deck like ours, where we're not pressuring a lot early in the game. Like, yeah, we got Gifted Etherborn and Murderous Rider, but it's not like we're some super aggro deck that's going to be getting in a ton of damage, which means a lot of times when we cast Rush of Dread, our opponent's still at like 20 life, 18 life, so it's a huge chunk of damage. It's like a 5 mana, 10 damage burn spell or something, which is kind of ridiculous. So all in all, I think Rush of Dread is actually really good, and I think it's perfect for Mono Black Devotion, Shell. So if you like Mono Black Devotion, I would definitely recommend throwing in some Rush of Dreads, leveling up those Warlock classes, because the deck actually seems really strong, and Rush of Dread is just a super cool card to win the game with. So anyway, that's Dreadvotion. That's been our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Looking for even more Magic? Well, check out the video about the worst sets in the history of Magic the Gathering, or maybe the one where we taught Arena Zoomers about Mindslaver locks.